So not used to the camera being so close to my face. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but as promised, I'm going to be giving you guys some consistent content, especially now that we're back in lockdown. So today I actually had a random, well, it's not random, I do have contrary to what you guys may believe, I do have a filming schedule. I have planned videos, but I don't usually know when I'm going to film them unless it's obviously with someone else or it's a specific type of video. Today I wanted to talk about my stance on feminism and what I class myself as in the feminist community, whether I'm a part of this feminist community. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. As always, you guys know that this channel, the purpose of this channel, apart from entertaining people, is also to educate and empower people. Like I've said before, I would be doing a great disservice to my gender, well, people who identify as women like myself, and also my race. I feel like it'd be doing a disservice if I didn't speak on issues that affected people like me, people who look like me, people who belong to the same marginalised groups like me. I've been a little bit apprehensive to talk about this, even though I always knew I was going to talk about this. I have been apprehensive, I will admit, simply because if you follow me on Twitter, and if you just have Twitter in general, you know how certain communities take to issues like mine, especially issues surrounding the treatment or mistreatment of women. I'd like to first off start by saying that I don't actually class myself as a feminist. I obviously, a lot of my views align with their views. I agree with probably 90% of what the feminist community is about, what they advocate for. However, I don't class myself as a feminist simply because I don't want to put myself in any box. So even politically, I ask anyone you know, I don't align myself with any political party, simply because I, as an individual, I want to have the ability to think freely, and I don't ever want someone to think that they can throw my political ideology or any ideologies back in my face because I disagree with, I don't know, one or two things within that ideology. And I just don't feel like I personally align with just any one ideology, any one group. The only thing I will ever identify as is Black and Christian. Those are two things that no one can ever take away from me. Those are two things that I proudly am. However, with stuff like politics, I'm just careful because like I've said before, I come on this channel to educate and empower. I don't have any agenda, and I will never have any agenda. That will never change about me. I'm not going to accept any sort of bribe or money or notoriety to further someone else's agenda. I believe in basic human rights, so I don't feel like I need to align myself with any political party or any one ideology to believe in basic human rights. I just want to start off by talking about how misogyny has affected women in society. Women were previously not allowed to work, they weren't allowed to be educated, like attend school or any sort of educational institution. It was believed that women's fundamental and only role was to be in the household, having kids, popping babies, looking after the household, looking after the husband, just basically making sure everything in the house is all Gucci. However, when you look at the foundation of why our patriarchal society made things like that, it's because they wanted to control women. Every aspect of a woman was controlled. The way she looked, how many kids she had, her finances, because obviously women weren't allowed to work. Obviously, if you're not allowed to work, you don't have money. That means that any man that's mistreating you, cheating on you, any situation that you were in with a man, you were essentially stuck there because you did not have any financial freedom to leave. So to me, that's one of the most important things to remember when it comes to talking about why a patriarchal society is harmful. There's obviously sexual ideologies about women, you know, women first of all not being allowed to be sexual beings, not allowed to enjoy sex, not allowed to enjoy sex with multiple men, women not being allowed to be promiscuous. Long story short, every aspect of a woman's life up till now, because it still happens, is controlled, scrutinized, criticized, pulled apart by men and obviously other women because of internalized misogyny. The thing that really annoys me, and I see it a lot on Twitter, probably because that is the platform I use the most, is that a lot of people like myself, men and women who live in societies like mine, which you would call first world countries or Western societies, they feel like the misogyny that happens here is not that deep. Like, you know, they put it down to just slut shaming, few sexist remarks here or there, but that is just simply not the case. One, you have to remember that women have feelings and women are individuals that they have a right to do what they want. They have a right to be what they want. They have a right to act how they want. It's not fair that everything that a woman does is controlled and criticised and pulled apart by society whilst a man is able to slip under the radar. That's not fair. When you think about the foundation of most hatred and most hate crimes towards marginalised groups, it comes from a superiority complex. So racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia. It comes from a feeling of you are better than that group of people. It's the same with sexism, misogyny. When you look at the core, you can see that most patriarchal ideologies do not make sense. It doesn't make sense that you are holding women to one standard and men to another standard, especially no biological information that backs any of these ideologies up. There's no intelligent information that backs any of this stuff up. It's literally just ideologies, and they're ideologies used to control women. Obviously, if you have put the idea out there that a woman is less than because she's slept with more than, I don't know, 3 men, of course other women are going to be like, oh, do you know what, I need a husband, I need a family, I'm only going to sleep with 2 people. That is control. That is a form of control. I feel really strongly about slut shaming because it honestly contributes so much to elements of rape culture. If you've ever watched movies, programs, or even real life cases, you'll know that usually 9 times out of 10 when a woman goes to court because of a sexual assault, a sexual history is brought up by the defense, which I think is really quite disgusting. It doesn't matter if a woman has slept with 50 guys, if she slept with 100. If the 51st man she dates is the man she chooses not to sleep with, that has nothing to do with the other 50 guys that she's slept with. And it's a disgusting ideology. It basically enforces the idea that if you're promiscuous, you're asking to be sexually assaulted, and it's disgusting to even think of that. It's disgusting to think that that is an acceptable way of thinking. And like I've said before, obviously I live in a first world country, a Western society, where slut shaming might not have such dire consequences, but in other countries it does. For instance, there's FGM, which is obviously the procedure of sewing up the vagina to essentially deter young women from having sex before marriage because of society's perception of virginity. And I find it quite interesting how the idea of virginity is only really enforced upon women. You rarely hear of people referring to boys or men as virgins or having lost their virginity. In some countries, women have been stoned because they've been accused of cheating on a man. That does not happen to men. Men are not stoned for being adulterous, and men are adulterous all the time, openly. Men are allowed multiple wives, multiple mistresses that are just allowed to live there and just go about their life. But God forbid a woman should even dare to even think about being adulterous with a man, and all of a sudden she deserves death. And some of the punishments that women are subjected to are just heinous, like just disgusting stuff I can't even begin to talk about on this channel because it's just so deep. So this is all to say that any scale of misogyny enables the wider consequences of it. So if you enable misogyny here, you're enabling misogyny in another country on a bigger scale, which is obviously very bad. I would even go as far as to say that we have it kind of good here, but I don't care about slut shaming here because it affects me or because it affects the next girl. I care about the 15-year-old girl who's going to get beaten up in Africa or in Asia because she's not a virgin anymore, or, you know, the woman that's going to get killed because her husband thinks she's cheating on her. Some people might look at the type of feminism that goes on in the UK or the US or any other first world country and think that it's really superficial, but really it's about dismantling it from the ground up. People think that as a society we've improved a lot, which we have. We have improved a great deal. However, we still have a really long way to go. If I just use a quick example, this idea that now that women work we're so equal to men is so wrong. In sociology they describe it to us as the triple shift, which is a concept that describes how women who work have to come home, bear the burden of bringing up the children, and also bear the burden of the housework. So they're not exactly equal to men because they're still fulfilling the role that patriarchal society has said that a woman should be fulfilling. Men who hate or oppose feminism only do so because they've realised that actually a veil has been uncovered and they can no longer operate in the ways that they used to, and they can no longer mistreat women the ways that they used to, now that women are refusing to be with men who don't pull their weight, for instance, in the household, or men who just don't respect women, and men who delight in the mistreatment of women, men who genuinely hate women. All of that is being uncovered, so they can no longer operate in the ways that they used to. That is the only reason I can see for you hating feminism. There's obviously different levels of feminism. Obviously, some people might describe certain feminists' views as extreme, but when you think of the things that women have been subjected to at the hands of men, it's not hard to understand why some of their ideologies are like that. As for myself, I'm constantly educating myself. It's one thing to be ignorant, it's one thing to be born into an ignorant family. I thankfully wasn't. My family encouraged everyone to do housework, man or woman, whatever you choose to identify as. We was all encouraged to clean up after ourselves. It wasn't me and my sister who did all of the housework. It wasn't my mum who did all of the housework. We all collectively do our part to make sure the house runs the way it does. There wasn't different rules for me and my sister that there was for my brother, but obviously some people grew up in households where this is still happening, this is the norm. I and other people cannot blame you for being brought up in an ignorant environment. However, there is such a thing as being willfully ignorant, where you're being ignorant because you refuse to educate yourself and you refuse to change your views and adapt. This isn't to say that you should all of a sudden change your views overnight. It is a process that me and other people still go through, but it's the willingness to learn that makes the difference, and in my opinion will make the world a much better place. I don't see why sexism is a thing. Obviously it benefits men, which is the only reason I can think of you wanting to still live in a sexist society. But taking those steps, like I said, to educate yourself on these issues is the first step in becoming a better version of yourself, understanding the issues that women face if you aren't a woman or if you don't identify as a woman. So this was just a short clip to basically not just clear up obviously like things that have been said about my personal views, but also to explain why I feel the way I do when it comes to feminism. And obviously, like I've said in the video, a lot of people feel like my type of feminism and the feminism that other people in the UK and the US are involved in is superficial, because we only talk about slut shaming, but it goes hand in hand, like I said. So I hope that helped you guys to kind of understand a bit more about me and some of my views. Let me know down below if these are the type of videos that you guys like to see from me. Also, I did a different type of makeup look today. Like, this is really out of my comfort zone, and also these lashes are so natural. Like, I ordered them because I just feel like everyone always sees me in like 20mm lashes, 25mm lashes, and I just wanted like a go-to everyday pair, but these are like, I can't even see them. But I really think they're quite cute. But this look is so cute to me. Like, this look is so cute. Like, are you guys seeing this look? If you guys want a tutorial on this look, yeah, let me know and I'll gladly do it. I'll do like a get ready with me, but I'm trying to steer clear of those because I feel like I get distracted, like I can't really talk when I'm doing them. But obviously, let me know. Thank you so much for watching as usual. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, make sure you share, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.